Well, last night we finally got out of the rough weather conditions at around 2 o'clock in the morning as we came into the lee of these islands, and we anchored the ship off of Lennox Island at about 3:30 this morning. And there we sat. We were waiting for the Chilean pilots to board. They came out by launch and were on board at about 7 o'clock this morning. Able to navigate around these islands, it's a requirement that the pilots are on board, and so therefore we waited for them, and now we're on our way. We picked up the anchor and we're now heading back on out to Cape Horn. Now these timings are all very approximate, so we'll keep you informed on the public address system as we get towards the interesting parts. But the approximate timing is to circumnavigate the island of Cape Horn at around 10 o'clock this morning, so it's about an hour and 3/4. We should be off Cape Horn, heading around there, and once that's complete, we'll then be heading back. We're just in discussion with the pilots for trying to find the most scenic of the routes to get back towards Port Williams. But it'll be, from leaving Cape Horn, it'll probably be an hour and a half or so in the more open waters before getting into the more scenic sections of the Beagle Canal. All in all, it's looking like the weather's going to be quite kind to us. It will be a little bit bumpy as we head around Cape Horn, but I'm sure you got very used to that yesterday, and it will probably seem quite an anticlimax after your ride yesterday in the roaring 40s.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Joe, your port lecturer from the bridge. On this beautiful Cape Horn morning, trying to go through the Strait of Magellan, Sir Francis Drake was blown south by strong winds. And his report said that he saw some islands and some land as he was blowing south. Many sailors tried to find it. Many sailors lost their life here. They also call this the graveyard of many of the sailors. It's in the archipelago of Tierra del Fuego, in the southernmost island, the island of Horn, and the southernmost tip of the island, which is the southernmost piece of land of South America, which is known as Cape Horn. 478 meters tall above sea level. It's about 1,400 feet. That's what is the height of the highest peak, the southernmost peak. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is really calm compared what Cape Horn used to be, or still is sometime. And that's why when you see these beautiful sculptures, which became detached from the main island, it took years and years and years, the nature, to make it. Take a look at the waves hammering the island. Imagine year after year, day after day, hour after hour. That makes these beautiful sculptures. Ladies and gentlemen, the ship is turning and circumnavigating the island. The ship is moving. So when you walk around, make sure halt to a handrail. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, there is the infamous, or you want to call, Cape Horn. So here it is, the tallest part of the island, the southernmost piece of land in South America. Well, you didn't realize, but going around the island, we left the Atlantic, went for just a few minutes into the Pacific, back to the Atlantic again, as this is the division. People ask me which is higher, the Atlantic or the Pacific. Well, it's all sea level, exactly the same. So, Cabo de Hornos, Cape Horn, Chilean territory. Cabo de Hornos, territorio chileno. What a beautiful afternoon at this part of the world. Sun is shining. Just in a few minutes, we will be properly entering the Beagle Channel. We are on the way to the Beagle Channel. It's straight ahead of us. And then we will be entering. This is the part where we're going to get into the Beagle Channel.
There's the city. Logos just coming up on the starboard side in a couple of minutes. And very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you on the starboard side, which is the right-hand side of the ship, we just passed, which is the wreck of a ship called Logos. It was a Bible ship. Yeah, it happened in 1982.
We are now entering the Beagle Canal. For those of you on the starboard side, the right-hand side of the ship, you are taking picture of Argentinian territory. For those of you on the port side, the left-hand side of the ship, you're taking pictures and you're watching and looking at Chilean territory. It was divided in the middle, all the way. Yes. And this goes all the way to Ushuaia. Once, about a couple hours after we leave Ushuaia, it becomes all Chilean territory on both sides. So, until 2 hours after Ushuaia, it's all divided. And we are in the middle, in between both countries at the moment.
al sur del mundo, en Ushuaia, pero Puerto Williams está más al sur. Esta transición necesita 40 millones. Entonces, Williams tiene solo 40 millones. Hace falta
Puerto Williams has a small airport, a small landing strip. And you will see as we will be passing, as we will be leaving. So, everybody that goes to Cape Horn, those people that work on Cape Horn, the people that stay in Cape Horn, they fly in and they come here to Puerto Williams. And from here, depending on the day, they can take even a helicopter if the wind is not strong, or they take a boat all the way to Cape Horn. Our pilots today, they came here from Puerto Williams to join our ship.
We have to go to Puerto Williams to go through customs and clearance processes. We've been sailing through Chilean waters, and it is a requirement that before we go to Argentina we have to clear customs and immigration at Puerto Williams. The intention probably will to just to hold the ship on the engines and using the thrusters in position while the customs and immigration officers come on board, go through the paperwork. This usually takes about 3/4 of an hour. Once that's done, we'll be heading on down to Ushuaia. We'll pick up the Argentinian pilot at 7 o'clock this evening. and gentlemen, good evening. This is the captain. Well, welcome to Ushuaia in Argentina. If you've been out and about and watching, you'll notice that the ship is now at anchor. The plan had been to go alongside. However, at this time, there's another ship on our pier. She was supposed to have sailed 4 hours ago, but there's some very strong winds, and they are basically pinned onto the berth by the very strong wind at the moment, and they can't safely move off the pier. So in order for us to go alongside, we have to wait for the Carnival Splendor to sail. Once she's sailed, then we'll obviously think about how we get the Star Princess in and alongside. At the moment the wind is very strong. It's about 40 knots for the Carnival Splendor to move off the pier. We're estimating the wind has to come down to about 25 knots or so, so there's a little bit to come, but fingers crossed, often as not at sunset the wind decreases, and so all being well, shortly after sunset we may be able to move in, but one of those fluid things, and we just have to be guided by the weather.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? Hi. Well, we have. I think we've been waiting for you with this sunny day. At least right now. At least right now. So meanwhile, we leave the harbor. Let me tell you that we are. Eduardo is the driver. My name is Susana. I'm the guide. I'm going to tell you some things about Tierra del Fuego. You know that Ushuaia is the capital of Tierra del Fuego province. We have one main street, San Martin Street, and it's the first one parallel to this one. This is the seacoast, Maipú Avenue. First street, San Martin. Everything is there. Ushuaia was born like a penal colony with a very famous prison that was functioning between 1902 and 1947. And while it was functioning, it became the social economical axis of the life in Ushuaia. And we have a nice panoramic point in a few seconds that will show. Apart from your ship. Wow. Okay, and this is the Ushuaia Bay. Ushuaia Bay. It's enclosed by this peninsula where is located the airport. Nice view of your ship too. Yes. So we are going to cross the Andes on this tour. In this island, the Andes runs from west to east, not from north to south. When they reach the Magellan Strait, change the direction and runs like that. So really, we should be in Chile right now. It's Ushuaia, the only Argentine city at the other side of the Andes Strait. But we are not going to change any country, so don't worry about your passport or anything like that, because we cross the Andes through Garibaldi Pass, but we don't change any country. Really, this will be a panoramic trip, just a nice panoramic trip. So because while we are crossing the Andes, we are going to make stops in for photo stops, really. Next stop will be for toilets. And then we will go to Garibaldi Pass. That's the place where we are going to cross the Andes. Then we'll go down till Escondido. We swim a little in the Escondido, and from there we'll come back. On highway number 3, national highway number 3. This is a highway that comes from Buenos Aires. It starts at the Congress in Buenos Aires, runs all over Patagonia, more or less through the coast of the Atlantic Sea. When you reach the Magellan Strait, disappears, jumps, and there's no tunnel or bridge. So appears in the island, in the Argentine side of the island, and runs all the island, ending at in the national park at the other side, at the west. So we are on our direction is east, northeast. We are not going to reach Buenos Aires. It's like three days we need.
That's why you keep taking it. I want it fairly close.
We have in the island. Apart from this one, we have complementary roads that are joining things like sawmills or ranches to this main road. But this is the only one we have to go out and to come in. And takes the sap of the trees to live. Before they die, they're going to open kind of cells, throw the spores. They die, fall down, and that's all for the fungus. They're very nice. When it's the time to make the bark softer, then with a knife you cut the bark, and this is the natural shape it has. And things like key holders, ashtrays, different souvenirs are done with these pieces of wood. So this is not the moment to see the fungus. Amatista is the name of the. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Amatista is awesome. It's very
Thank you.
Oh my God!
Oh, God.
I'm gonna go pet.
Wait.
They all love
Get up
me.
here.
I'm gonna go pet the ones over there. They're so.
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh, they're attacking me.
Noah, turn it off for a minute. Wait.
Okay.
Crew, I give you the welcome on board to the catamaran Annabelle. My name is Belen and I will be your guide during this tour where we're going to be navigating around the Beagle Channel, visiting the different colonies of South American sea lions, rock and imperial cormorants, and also visiting Les Éclairés Lighthouse. We'll be back in Ushuaia Harbor at 3 to arrive to this area. On the rocky island in front of us, we can see a group of little noise. On the rocks, there is a group of rock cormorants or rock sharks. These cormorants have the particularity to build their nest always on the cliffs, on the walls of the rock. And we will recognize the colony because of the white color of their guano on the rocks. Found here on this area. And near the shore as well we can see a boat, and that's why we call them like that. In front of the lighthouse, there's a lighthouse, our emblematic, a brown bird, big like a big gull, which is skewer, which is one of the most important predators for cormorants and penguins. There is also a small colony of South American sea lions. These sea mammals are here during all the year, and this is the best moment to see them because they use the rocks for use porten salvavidas para saltar y evite abandonar la embarcación hasta el last minute. Una vez colocado el chaleco salvavidas, siempre siga atentamente las instrucciones de la tripulación.
Good evening, this is the captain. Welcome back. Do hope you've had a wonderful stay here in Ushuaia. The weather today, for those of you ashore, has been very, very kind to us. Beautiful sunshine. It's almost inevitable that we get the occasional rain shower while here, but once again, we've been very lucky. I'm just waiting for a lull in the weather. When the wind goes down, we'll attempt to pull ourselves off the berth and be away from here. It's quite a fast passage from here up to Punta Arenas. It's 272 nautical miles, and we'll be heading out at pretty well full speed for manoeuvring on the inner passages, about 19 knots all the way. The weather forecast for tonight is it'll get quite chilly, around 8 Celsius, 46 Fahrenheit. Quite a brisk westerly wind blowing. And the forecast for tomorrow, we can expect a high of around similar temperatures, very, very similar to what we've experienced today. The passage, once we're off the berth, we swing the ship right the way around and head out to the east initially. We've got about 10 miles to go in the wrong direction. Make a big turn because we have to go around the shallow patches that are just on the port side of the ship now. Make a big turn, then we'll be coming back past Ushuaia again in about an hour and a half or so. Continue our way through the Beagle Canal, and we'll pass from the Argentinian territory into the Chilean territory at about 6:30 this evening, so that's when the Argentinian pilot will disembark and we'll be on our way. Now we wind our way through the canal, and then we actually have to head out into the Pacific Ocean. That should be around 1:30 in the morning. You can expect a fair old swell out there, so the ship may begin to roll around a bit, but it's only for approximately 3/4 of an hour that we're outside, and then we come back in again and head our way through to the Magellan Straits. All being well, we should be anchored in Punta Arenas around 7 o'clock in the morning, ready for your tours. So ladies and gentlemen, it is a very scenic departure. Other than that, the cruise director, Richard, and his team have got wonderful entertainment for you this evening. We'll be passing 4 very interesting glaciers this evening. They'll be on the starboard side of the ship at around 8 o'clock tonight. If obviously we're a little bit late leaving, add on the time that we're late leaving to the arrival there. So around 8 o'clock tonight on the starboard side, 4 very nice glaciers we pass very close by. Have a wonderful evening on the Star Princess.